Welcome back to my channel, Business Life at Homeschool. My name is Brianna Chanel, but you can call me Bree. I am a full-time entrepreneur, store owner, part-time worker, and homeschooling mama of two amazing boys, Austin Liam, age 5, and Aiden Lee, age 4 now. He just turned 4 a week ago. And next up is Austin's birthday next month in October. So in this video, as you saw from the title, this is my huge, massive Goodwill book haul. I want to say I've gotten about, let's say maybe about 50, let's say 40 books, maybe. I don't know, I didn't really count, but I just know it's a lot of books. Okay, so when I'm going to the Goodwill, I am on a mission, and it's usually a book mission. So I will spend at least 30 minutes going through each and every row on each shelf that they may have in there. And like last year, I would just try to find all of the Black illustrated or Black authored books, to be honest, because those are rare to find. As some of you may know, but now I do know about a lot of the bookstores that particularly sell all Black authored or Black illustrated books, which is really cool. So this time around, I was able to find Juneteenth book. It fell right in my lap. I got all these books at the end of July, and I'm just now getting around to sit down to actually do the book haul. So I have this. Because as I mentioned in one of my other videos, our history curriculum will basically be built around books, literature books, books that I feel represent history accurately enough, truthfully, bluntly, non-sugarcoating. So I was also able to find this is the fiction book called Goggles. So I have this one, some nice illustrations. I was also able to get this Bud Buddy book. Now, I believe this book is used for like junior high through high school. So we won't be reading this just yet. Honestly, all of the big chapter books that I'm going to be showing you will basically be either read alouds for now until they're old enough to just read it themselves. I mean, they're only in first and preschool, so they're not great readers at all. But once they get there, they'll be able to read these books themselves. We can build maybe unit studies around certain books or just add them into things that we're doing. And then the good thing about it is I'm getting some of these books. All of these books are under $3. The Goodwill books are all under $3. They're usually like $1 to $3. So I haven't spent a whole lot of money on these books. So of course, I was happy when I saw The Outsiders. Now, I think most of us read this our freshman year of high school, and everyone knows it's a really good book. Definitely something we can do a unit study around. So at least I already have this. I obviously won't be reading this or having them read this. Maybe it's about 8th grade. It depends on what their level is at the time. Maybe they won't have to wait until high school, but we'll see. But I got it. Some other chapter story time read aloud books. The Spiderwick The Spiderwick Chronicles. I think we watched this movie on Netflix or something, but I definitely want to collect all of the books that it comes with. I believe it comes with 4 books. 4 other books. So I definitely want to collect them all. Any book that has like a whole series, a collection, I'm definitely into collecting them all. So by the time they are older in junior high, I'll have the complete collection. So if I can find them all and search and get them and look up on them at the Goodwill or any other thrift stores, secondhand bookstores, used bookstores, I will grab them. And if not, Amazon has all of the collections. So eventually I will get them all. The Borrowers. Good book. This is a new one I never heard of before. The Adventures of the Salamander. So this has 3 books in this collection. So I do like that some of these pages have like little illustrations on them. So that's cool. And we also have some Roald Dahl. Okay, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Roald Dahl. So, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is out so far for this 6-week block, and honestly, this is something you could finish in a week, but I decided to stretch it, and we so love this. I had never actually read the book. Of course, I've seen the movies, which I was able to get from the Goodwill as well for like $1 a piece, I believe, and they work just fine. So we've watched both of these movies about 10 times already. I believe it's on Netflix right now too, so anything that has like movies to go with it, these books definitely make it interesting for kids, especially younger kids. And honestly, we didn't even get a chance to finish the book before we started watching the movies. So maybe we got about 5 chapters away from the end and started watching the movies because the kids were just so eager, and then I was like eager too, so it was like whatever. Let's watch the movies. It's exciting seeing your kids actually be able to compare, comprehend, respond to certain questions that you ask, and just watching them grow and watching their little brains just flourish is very exciting. I am one of those ones that moms are like, oh my god, how did you know that? Oh my god, like, you sound like such a big boy. You sound like you're about 10 when you're only 5. But yeah, so I was able to get these. So I want to collect all of his books. So he makes the James and the Giant Peach, Witches. I have that book too, which also has the movie for it, which I used to watch when I was a kid. And about a week before I even bought this book, it actually came on, I think it was on Netflix as well. So we were watching this and I'm like, oh my god, there's a book for it too. I remember now. So got the book. So we definitely are going to probably make this our next read aloud. If not the next one, the one after during October, since Halloween, which is just makes sense. So that's what we're gonna do. And then I also have a couple of Halloween themed books. Erie Elementary, I think there's like 2 books in this series. So this is one of them. We'll probably use this as a read aloud as well. And then this is Hunted Tacos. This book is actually a poetry book. So something like this will be good to maybe take a day. Okay, let's read this. Let's go over some of the poetry things and just make it a poetry day to kind of introduce your child to poetry. So I think that's what we might do when we go over this book. And then I also have another poetry book, kind of. This is like kind of religious, this old turtle book. I don't feel like they'll be interested at this point. Maybe a little bit too sophisticated for them at this time, but does make a lot of God references in here about the old turtle, and it seems a little poetic to me. Nice watercolors, but I don't think it's gonna catch my boys' attention, to be honest. But I feel like maybe when they're older, so maybe like 8, maybe get this for your kid, but preschool, 1st grade, mine aren't that interested in this yet. I was able to get My Father's Dragon. So I saw like other reviews and people getting this and raving about this book. So I got this. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the book I heard about. So we got it. Stuart Little by E.B. White. I actually think I still have like the Stuart Little and Stuart Little 2 movie somewhere in my basement from when I was a kid. Probably in a bin or tote somewhere. But this author also makes The Charlotte's Web, which is something I definitely want us to read as a read aloud. And I think it's The Trumpet and the Swan, something like that. Can't think of the name exactly, but feel free to correct me. So he has 3 books, I believe. So this will be exciting to read and then watch the movies. I'm such a kid at times. But I also have a Wrinkle in Time collection. So I was able to get all I think it's 5 books total that comes with this whole collection. So I'm missing one of them, but it is on my wish list on my Amazon. So if I can't find it at Goodwill or somewhere, then I will just buy it. But this is the first book, A Wrinkle in Time. I've seen the movie but never read the book. And then I didn't even know that there were other books that went along with this. So A Wrinkle in Time was like the first one. A Wind in the Den is like the second one while they're still young. This one, Charles Wallace is like 15 years old, I believe. A Swiftly Tilting Planet. And Many Waters is the other one. So these, I won't even read to them to probably like junior high or have them read them themselves. But that's just something that I wanted to grab, you know. Grab it while you can. So when it comes to education, I was able to get this Kingfisher First Dictionary. Again, cost me under $3, I believe. So I was able to get the dictionary and a thesaurus. So I figured this would be a good way to introduce dictionaries to the boys, especially Austin, so he can start learning how to look up words in alphabetical order, and help him with his reading and reading different definitions. But it's a step-by-step process. So first it will be me teaching him just how to go in alphabetical order when looking up a word. You may not know how it's spelled, but just by sounding it out, trying to guess and assume what the next letter could be. So yeah, we definitely going to be using this and a thesaurus. And then once they outgrow that one, I have the Scholastic Children's Dictionary when their vocabulary really expands. So I was able to get this big old book as well for under $3. So we're good on dictionaries pretty much until they get to high school, and they can get a traditional dictionary then. So that's that. And then I was able to find this math workbook. Now, I already do have the kids' curriculum and everything, but it's also nice to have something that you may supplement with or just have as a backup for the future. So it's kindergarten grade level, so this will be for Aiden. So maybe next summer, if we're looking for something to do, if we don't, you know, if we finish with our books or whatever, something to check out. But if you can find curriculum books, the dollar store, anywhere, to be honest. So I do have Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. So I feel like this is like a preschool rite of passage. Toddler preschool rite of passage to have, or at least have read Chicka Chicka Boom Boom at some point. This is very bright and exciting. Unfortunately, I feel like Aiden is in his I'm a big boy mode. So he's not really that interested in board books or books he feel like is too babyish. But to satisfy mommy, I still got it anyway. And then to help him stop whining and crying while we were in the store, got him this Paw Patrol book, which he really just wanted the stickers. Sometimes you just have to bribe your kids. Like, okay, here, we'll pick a book, what you want. All right, get it, play with it. Leave mommy alone while she look through these books. I'd be so focused, and then having to make sure, you know, he doesn't run off too far, make sure he's right by my side. I know that can be boring for a kid, so yeah, I don't want him to hate books all because mommy is taking too long finding books. So I'll get him whatever he wants. So we also have this Bugs A to Z book, which Austin was in love with when I first got it, and looked through it the first day, and I want to say like a week straight looking through this. And just using context clues to really figure out what it was saying or whatever. Because like I said, the boys aren't great readers yet. But he'll ask me, you know, certain questions. So we have that. Have this Stars and Planets book for when we do a space unit before the end of the year. The only thing about this book is that it is a little bit outdated. So it does have Pluto as a planet. So when we get to that point, I'll definitely correct that part. And I'm sure we're going to get a DK book. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite publishers. I'm in love with DK books right now. Like, they have every topic subject that you can think of. And it's books you can use forever. It's not just only when they're little or only when they're big. Like, our Ocean DK book, we are all over that thing, okay? All right, I have a Hiawatha books for when we learn about Native Americans, which we won't be for at least the next 2 years probably. I want us to be able to do a lot of field trips and traveling, going to different museums, reserves, and things like that. Really make it a living experience to learn kind of firsthand the truth about Native American history and not what they want us to know in the history books or want us to believe. Just very true, like it's all about truth. I just really want my kids to know the truth about history. So we won't necessarily have a history book, but we will have literature. We will have experiences learning the truth. I have Why I Sneeze, Shiver, Hiccup, and Yawn for when we do our health unit. And then I also got the body book for boys and my body myself for boys, because I figure when they're maybe like 8 or 9, before they hit puberty, I don't want to wait until they hit puberty at all. I want them to be prepared. I want them to be comfortable talking about certain things and not have everything seem so taboo. The way we raise our kids, we're very honest, blunt. We're not the type to shelter them from certain information. We just tell them how it is, basically. Want them to know the truth. I don't want to have to re-explain or for them to never feel confused because we told them one thing when they were little and then we're telling them something else when they're older. Like, no. This is what puberty is about. This is what's going to happen. This is what it is. And there you go. Now, if their jaws drop, like, so be it. Y'all, I'm so silly at times. Especially when I'm tired. I am sleepy right now. But we have lizards. I think we actually might get an iguana soon. But this is definitely for our reptile and amphibian unit study that I'm sure we would do. I think next summer maybe. And then I also got these I Can Draw books. So I wanted to grab these because the kids are always asking me to draw stuff, especially Aiden. He's like, hey, draw a shark. Hey, draw a T-Rex. And it's like, who told you I can draw these things? I can't draw these things. And then I just go on YouTube and just type in how to draw a TX. Oh my God, I'm so tired. But how to draw a T-Rex or how to draw X, Y, and Z. So the fact that we have these books that have more variety of things to draw just brought up the idea in my head to just do different art portfolio projects like each study unit study that we do. So like we're on oceans right now. So one ideas I had with a similar book was, hey, let's maybe pick 10 creatures from the book and either draw them, paint them, do something arts and craft related and artistic with them and creative, and then create your own portfolio. Now, we had so many things that we did for the ocean unit and wanted to do, so we couldn't get to it all. But that's something I'm definitely going to be more diligent on when it comes to our future unit studies. So I got Who Would Win? Hornet versus the Wasp, which of course the boys liked. I have this Flower Gardening 1, 2, 3 Home Depot book, which of course I would probably never pay $25 for. So the fact I found it for $3 was gold. I've already been dabbling in some gardening things, doing some kitchen windowsill regrowing green onions and vegetables and things like that. So I definitely want to get into flower gardening as well. Pretty much has like every plant you can imagine in here. So this we can use as a resource book when we do go into our flower and gardening units for next spring. So got it. All right, here's a couple other chapter books. This is called Spirit Animals, and I want to say this has maybe about 7 or 8 books in the series. And then when that series is done, they have another version, Fall of the Beast, Spirit Animals, that comes after that, which also has about 6 or 7 books in the collection. So if I collect these, I feel like this is something the boys would like to read or have read to them, because it's the type of stuff they're in, you know, mystical creatures and kids, you know, it's based off of kids, so they'll like that. Hopefully I can find all the Narnia books soon. I kind of put myself on Goodwill punishment after all of these books I've collected. So we also have all of our ocean books that I got. Now I went to about 4 of my local Goodwills and just kind of grabbed everything that I felt was ocean related, because we're about to start our very first ocean unit. We weren't going to work on any like official curriculum books during that time, so it was literally just diving in all about ocean. So I wanted to make sure we were covered. There was always something to do. Unfortunately, I went overboard because half of these books we haven't even got a chance to look at. But it's okay, because we're also trying to build our library. We only had about 25 books at home, so the boys definitely needed new books, more books, and just make them feel like, wow, like, is this really our bookshelf? Is this really our library? Like, we really have all these books at our fingertips to grab at any time. And it just kind of, if they're surrounded by books, then they'll want to read books, want to look at books. If there's never any books around, you can't expect your kids to want to read, or they never see you reading. So just trying to be an example for the kids and surround them with things I would like for them to be interested in, to kind of foster that love for reading. So first we have Weirdest Underwater Wonders. Of course the boys love that. Blobfish All About Me. Whales of the World. The Bravest Fish. Gilbert the Hero. Sea Full of Whales. Amazing Sharks. So I have multiple whale sharks books. Dolphins. National Geographic Kids Shark book. Sea Otters, National Geographic Kids as well. Penguins, which we will use during our polar unit study. More whales. Austin's favorite, Wild Kratts. He loves this TV show. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. So when he saw that I got him this book, he was like so excited. I was excited to start. I'm like, oh my God, Aiden, it's Wild Kratts. Austin would love this. So it's wild sea creatures, sharks, whales, and dolphins. Austin loves National Geographic, Discovery, just realistic documentary type stuff, factual things. That's what he loves. He actually doesn't like too much fiction, but the fact that this cartoon has very useful information and facts, he loves it. So I also want to incorporate some other ocean related things instead of just all animals. So do pirates take baths? I thought it'd be fun. How I Became a Pirate. Now I like this book because I like the illustrations. We haven't even read this one yet, but it's the illustrations that got me. If I find a book with nice illustrations, I'm definitely more inclined to get it. Same thing with this one, Sasha, the San Francisco Sea Lion. The illustrations in these are nice, and this is nice as well on these pages. So every day is something new. And I was glad I found these because these are on my Amazon cart and I didn't have to pay full price for them. Clam I Am, Dr. Seuss book. Like, how can you not have Dr. Seuss books in your library when you have little kids? And A Whale of a Tale. And then another preschool rite of passage, The Rainbow Fish. So we have The Rainbow Fish and then Scaredy Catfish, which is a Rainbow Fish in France book as well. And then I got this Hello Ocean book. Now what made me get this is that it's a dual language book. So it is in Spanish and English. And because Spanish is something I definitely want the boys to become fluent in, hopefully by the time they're in high school, I want to grab whatever dual language books that I can find, because I feel like they'll be useful in our Spanish education. And then once they get to a point where I can't really teach them anything further other than the basics with Spanish, I will definitely outsource help for them to take some type of Spanish classes or have a Spanish tutor. Maybe one day I'll become fluent in Spanish. Never know. Always wanted to. Not gonna count it out yet. In high school, I took Spanish and aced it. However, once I got to college, I took French. I think that was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. I feel like had I continued with Spanish, I would have definitely kept going on and on and on so I could be fluent in Spanish. But I didn't. I switched over to French because I thought speaking French was just so bougie, basically. But I only did it for 1 year, and then what made me do it anyways, because my senior in high school we took a trip to France and Italy, and I just thought, you know, French is a very enticing language, you know, but Spanish is very much more practical, especially here in the US, okay? And even in our community, it's a predominantly Black and Hispanic community that we live in. Our neighbors are Hispanic, so it makes more sense to become fluent in Spanish first as opposed to French. So that's what I want my boys to do at a younger age, is to already get into that Spanish mode. So our next unit study is going to be woodland. Okay, so we're like at the end of our ocean unit right now, and then we're gonna go on our 1 week break next week, and then we're gonna start on our next unit study. So I was able to find looking for Bigfoot, so anything that's woodland, forest, camping, fishing, anything related to that, I try to find those books and just grab them. So the boys have been obsessed with Bigfoot right now. They've downloaded about 4 different hunting Bigfoot, find Bigfoot games on my tablet. I'm like, what in the world? Where these games come from? So they've downloaded those. They just want to hunt Bigfoot. I found Pete the Cat Goes Camping, and this one was also in my cart, so I'm glad I didn't have to pay full price for it. I have Hibernation, The Magic School Bus in the Bat Cave, and all kids, well, most kids love the Magic School Bus. I loved it. The kids love it. They have the reboot and the original on Netflix right now. So, told you my baby likes anything that's speaking facts, okay? We have Froggy Goes Camping, The Old Man and the Hook, I believe. We have Small Fry Fishing Guide. And what I like about this book is the illustrations. It's definitely really busy, but I feel like it will keep the kids' attention. We will be going fishing, so this will definitely get them excited. And I have Night Night for his friends. So hopefully Aiden doesn't feel like he's too big boyish for mommy to read this book to him. But last but not least, mommy got some books for herself. If I can find them. I got them. So for those who know me, know that I am a Harry Potter nerd, okay? Even if I don't look like it, or you wouldn't assume that I am, okay? So I found Harry Swatter, a Harry Potter quiz book. Satisfy the nerd in me. Random Harry Potter facts you probably didn't know. And then the Tales of Beetle and the Bard. And there's like 2 other books that goes with this as well. I do have the collection sitting in my Amazon wish list right now, just in case I can't find it. And then, you know what, I went to Half Price Books. It was my first time there about a week ago. And then I had no idea that they had the illustrated Harry Potter books. I had no idea. So they're like big books, and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna have to get these books for the kids, because I'm sure when they're like maybe like 6th grade, so junior high, I'll start them off with the Harry Potter addiction. But I want them to be able to read them, have the illustrations. It'll definitely be more exciting seeing the pictures. Of course, all the books I read, because I read them all, were the basic, you know, chapter books, not many pictures, no color, whatever. So the fact that they have that now makes it even more exciting, and kind of makes me want to read it all over again. But Mama doesn't have time for that. So I'll be patient and wait till they get in junior high to grab all of those books and read those. That is it. So thanks for being patient. I know this was a long video, so you got to see all the books that I grabbed. Kind of got an idea of what kind of unit studies we're going to be doing in the future, and maybe you saw something that you may want to grab for your kid. Maybe you can suggest some to me, but either way, thank you. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, talk to me, and I love you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye.